Good morning, students. Our next topic is pollen grains from page number 23, second paragraph. So, pollen grains are generally spherical, measuring about 25 to 50 micrometers in diameter. It has prominent two-layered wall. The outer hard wall is called exine, which is made up of sporopollenin. The name of the substance is sporopollenin, from which the exine is made up of, which is the one of the most resistant organic material known. Important question. Name the substance which is present in the exine of the pollen grain. Answer is sporopollenin. It can withstand high temperatures and strong acids and alkalis. No enzyme that degrades sporopollenin is so far known. Pollen grain exine has prominent aperture called germ pores. स्पोरोपोलिनिन जो बाहर की एक्साइन वॉल है उसमें कहीं कहीं पर स्पोरोपोलिनिन एब्सेंट है. उस पार्ट को बोल रहे हैं जर्म पोर. उस पार्ट में से अंदर से इंटाइन बाहर आएगी और वो पोलन ट्यूब फॉर्म करेगी. पोलन ग्रेन्स आर वेल प्रिजर्व्ड. Pollen grain exine has prominent aperture called germ pores where sporopollenin is absent. Pollen grains are well preserved as fossils because of the presence of sporopollenin. क्योंकि स्पोरोपोलेनिन जल्दी से डिग्रेड नहीं हो रही, इसलिए स्पोरोपोलेनिन जो कि एक्साइन में प्रेजेंट है उसकी वजह से पोलन ग्रेन्स बहुत देर तक हम प्रिजर्व करके रख सकते हैं. द एक्साइन एग्जिबिट्स a fascinating array of patterns and designs. Why do you think the exine should be hard? Because it has the toughest substance known as sporopollenin which is present in it. What is the function of germ pore? Where sporopollenin is not present, that part is known as germ pore. Germ pore help in the formation of pollen tube और pollen tube comes out through the germ pore. germ pore के थ्रू pollen tube बाहर आएगी. वो इंटाइन है. इंटाइन germ pore के थ्रू बाहर निकलेगी और pollen tube फॉर्म करेगी. It is thin and continuous layer made up of cellulose. The inner wall of the pollen grain is called intine which is made up of cellulose and pectin. बाहर एक्साइन है पोलन ग्रेन के और अंदर है इंटाइन. इंटाइन किस चीज़ से बनी है? सेलुलोस एंड पेक्टिन. वर्ड इंपॉर्टेंट है, दोनों याद करने हैं. एक्साइन किसकी बनी है? स्पोरोपोलेनिन की. इंटाइन सेलुलोस और पेक्टिन की. द साइटोप्लाज्म ऑफ पोलन ग्रेन इज सराउंडेड बाय प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन. Inside cytoplasm is present, then plasma membrane is present. When the pollen grain is mature, it contains two cells, the vegetative cell and generative cell. The vegetative cell is bigger and has abundant food reserve and a large irregularly shaped nucleus. The generative cell is small and floats in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell. Inside the pollen grain, two cells are present. Bigger one is known as or larger one is known as vegetative cell and smaller is known as generative cell. In vegetative cell, large amount of cytoplasm is present as well as nucleus is present. The generative cell is small and floats in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell. It is spindle shaped with dense cytoplasm and nucleus. In over 60% of angiosperms, pollen grains are shed at two-celled stage. In the remaining species, the generative cell divides mitotically to give rise to two male gametes before pollen grains are shed. ज़्यादातर एंजियोस्पर्म्स में, मोर देन 60% एंजियोस्पर्म्स में जो पोलन ग्रेन्स हैं वो टू सेल स्टेज पे शेड होते हैं. टू सेल स्टेज कौन सी? एक वेजिटेटिव और जनरेटिव. उस पोलन ग्रेन के अंदर दो सेल होंगे, वन इज़ वेजिटेटिव सेल एंड द अदर वन इज़ जनरेटिव सेल. बट कुछ स्पीशीज़ में वो थ्री सेल स्टेज पे भी पोलन ग्रेन शेड होता है, निकलता है उसमें से अपने एंथर के अंदर से. उसमें क्या है? जनरेटिव सेल अगेन डिवाइड्स इनटू टू मोर. इनसाइड द जनरेटिव सेल मेल न्यूक्लियाई इज प्रेजेंट दैट डिवाइड्स बाय माइटोसिस and two male nuclei are formed. So in that species, the pollen grains are shed at 3-celled stage. Pollen grains of many species cause severe allergies and bronchial afflictions in some people, often leading to chronic respiratory disorders, asthma, bronchitis, etc. कुछ persons में ये allergy भी cause करता है और other problems भी. It may be mentioned that Parthenium or carrot grass that came into India as a contaminant with imported wheat has become ubiquitous in occurrence and cause pollen allergy. Name of the plant is Parthenium or carrot grass. उसके pollen grains allergy भी cause करते हैं. Next page number 24. Pollen grains are rich in nutrients. It has become a fashion in recent years to use pollen tablets as food supplements. In Western countries, a large number of pollen products in the form of tablets and syrups are available in the market. These are the uses of pollens. Pollen consumption has been claimed to increase the performance of athletes and race horses. When once they are shed, pollen grains have to land on the stigma before they lose viability. Viability means जब तक वो जिंदा रहते हैं, इससे पहले कि वो डाई हो जाएं, उनको स्टिग्मा तक पहुंचना है, तभी वहां जाके वो जर्मिनेट कर पाएंगे. If they have to bring about fertilization, how long do you think the pollen grain retain viability? क्या सोचते हो कि कब तक वो जिंदा रहेगा? The period for which pollen grains remain viable is highly variable and to some extent depends upon the prevailing temperature and humidity. In some cereals such as rice and wheat, pollen grains lose viability within 30 minutes of their release. Wheat और rice में उनको 30 minutes के अंदर ही स्टिग्मा तक पहुंचना है, नहीं तो वो डाई कर जाएंगे. And in some members of Rosaceae, Leguminosae and Solanaceae, they maintain viability for months. You may have heard of stories of storing semen, sperm of many animals including humans for artificial insemination. It is possible to store pollen grains of a large number of species for years in liquid nitrogen. Important question, how pollen grains can be stored? So they can be stored in a liquid nitrogen at a temperature below, that is minus 196 degrees centigrade. Such stored pollen can be used as pollen banks, similar to seed banks or crop breeding programs. Next is the pistil, megasporangium and embryo sac. This is the female part. The gynoecium represents the female reproductive part of the flower. The group of pistils is known as gynoecium. The gynoecium may consist of single pistil, then it is known as monocarpellary, or consist of many pistils, then it is known as multicarpellary. When there are more than one, the pistils may be fused together, then the term used syncarpus. अगर ज़्यादा pistils हैं और वो आपस में जुड़ी हुई हैं, fuse हैं, तो उनको कहेंगे syncarpus. और may be free, और अगर नहीं जुड़ी हुई तो उस टाइप के pistils को बोलेंगे apocarpus. Each pistil has three parts, the stigma, style and ovary. The stigma serves as a landing platform for pollen grains. Stigma पर आकर pollen grains land करते हैं, पहुँचते हैं. The style is an elongated slender part beneath the stigma. So what is the function of style? It lifts the stigma upward so that the pollen grains can land on the stigma. The basal bulged part of the pistil is ovary. Inside the ovary is the ovarian cavity. The placenta is located inside the ovarian cavity. Recall the definitions and type of placenta that you have studied in class 11. हर ओवरी के अंदर एक कैविटी है जिसको कहते हैं ओवेरियन कैविटी, उसको लोक्यूल भी बोलते हैं. उसके अंदर एक प्लेसेंटा है, उस प्लेसेंटा के ऊपर कवरिंग है, एक लेयर है, उसे प्लेसेंटा, और उसके ऊपर ओव्यूल्स अटैच रहते हैं. आपने 11th में ये चैप्टर नहीं पढ़ा, उस वक्त डिलीटेड था. सो यू कैन रीड फ्रॉम दैट from your class 11th book also. Arising from the placenta are the megasporangia commonly called ovules. Placenta के ऊपर ovules present हैं. तो क्या हुआ? ओवरी, ओवरी के अंदर ओव्यूल, ओव्यूल के अंदर ओव्यूल कैविटी और लोक्यूल, उसके अंदर प्लेसेंटा, प्लेसेंटा के ऊपर ओव्यूल्स. The number of ovules in an ovary may be one, as in case of wheat, paddy and mango, or many, as in case of papaya, watermelon or orchids. The megasporangium, that is ovule. We will study this in the next topic. Thank you.